What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome to Imperator Rome, or as Monty Python's Pontius Pilatus would say, Imperator Rome. Anyway, the game will officially release on April 25th, so a couple days from now, but I have been fortunate enough to receive a preview copy of the game from Paradox, so I want to thank them so much for giving me the opportunity to play beforehand, and obviously I want to thank you guys as well, because if you wouldn't be watching, then I wouldn't get the chance to play the game early, so obviously you deserve credit as well. Now, I don't really want to talk too much more about this. We're going to be hopping into single player, and we're going to start a new game, and we will be playing as Rome. I can already tell you this because I've thought about it, and there's obviously several other options. Interesting nations such as Carthage, they're actually shown down here. Egypt is interesting, Macedon, there's the Seleucids, several cool countries, but the game is called Imperator Rome, and I'm certain that Rome is one of, if not the most fleshed out nation at the start of the game, and I assume there will be updates and DLCs that will obviously give more flavor to some of the other nations, to the tribes, for example, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to be hopping in as Rome, we'll be talking more about all this stuff as we're in the game. So for now, let's just start. Okay. Now, I should mention here that most of you, obviously, if you're watching this here on my channel, then you are familiar with Paradox games, specifically Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, and then obviously maybe Victoria, maybe Stellaris as well. And I've mentioned these four games specifically because all of them, I've seen several of the mechanics, several features from those games that have been incorporated or have been copied here in Imperator Rome. And I think the game Imperator Rome resembles most closely is actually Europa Universalis 4. Not the characters. There are obviously characters in this game that are sort of borrowed from Crusader Kings 2, but they do not have as much power as you might think. But we'll get into this for now. Let's read this out. I just want to mention here, this is not going to be a tutorial video, and it's also not going to be, I don't know, just me rushing through this. I have only played the tutorial so far, so a lot of this is new to me as well. I like to take it slow, I like to read out events, so I'm going to be doing this. If this is too slow for you, then you can either skip that, or you should watch someone else. There's many other videos out there. But yeah, so let's get into this. Senatus Populusque Romanus. For over 20 years, the nascent Roman Republic has fought a harsh campaign against the Samnite people to the south. Although victory often seemed far from grasp, the war ended in Rome's favor, resulting in the liberation of the important Greek city of Naples. The Samnites, however, having retreated to lick their wounds, are far from defeated. In the north, the Etruscan people eye the expansion of the Republic with apprehension. To the south, myriad Greek city-states plot behind one another's backs, all the while appealing to their benefactors in Greece for aid. On the far-flung island of Sicily, the foreign invasion of the mysterious Carthaginian Empire threatens to upset the precarious balance of power in the region. Will Rome rise victorious or fall to internal strife and barbaric hordes? The fate of the Republic rests in your hands. For the Republic! And this could actually be a scene from Star Wars as well, but no, we are in fact in the year 450. Just for those of you who don't know, the game date counts from the founding of Rome, so the so-called Ab Urbe Condita. So that means we are currently, oh actually this is really cool, it shows here the Gregorian, after the Gregorian calendar, the current date will be October 1st of 304 BC. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I just noticed that it actually shows the BC as well. Okay, cool. That gives me a little bit of a better understanding of what time it is in a way. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of a look around for now. Obviously, this is the map. This is something that we're used to when playing Paradox games. One cool feature I've noticed is that you actually get to look at this. We can actually, yeah, shift the map. Now I know this is possible in some other Paradox games as well, but I've never really been able to do it. Here, it's actually quite easy to do. I mean, there's really no no benefit to doing this, but it's just kind of cool. So I like moving the map around like this. Obviously, we've got the mini-map. Always love myself a mini-map. We have, yeah, as I said, if you're familiar with Paradox games, Imperator Rome is very easy to get into, right? It's very easy to grasp. Now, most of the gameplay is actually focused on war, and it is more of a map painting game. So the goal is definitely to create an empire that stretches the world, basically. So that's also the goal of this campaign, but I will try to do it a little bit differently. We have obviously characters in here. So for example, our current ruler is Publius Sempronius Sophus, and we can actually check him out more specifically here. We see that he is different stats, base stats. They obviously remind us of Crusader Kings 2, but at the same time, EU4 rulers have 3 stats as well. They've got their, military skill, diplomatic skill, and administrative skill, and it's basically the same here. Military, we've got, political sort of administrative skill, then we've got the sort of, oratory. I think it's called oratory. It's charisma here, right? This is oratory power, but it feeds into this. It's like the diplo power, and then there's only a 4th one, which is like the religious power. But it's just a 4th one that also feeds into the main resources of the country here. Obviously, we've got a religion and culture, but that's the same in EU4. And the only difference, well, actually, that's not even a difference. In EU4, rulers also have traits now. Obviously, it's all developed. But there's a couple more traits here, and they affect the country and the ruler differently. The one thing that has most definitely been borrowed from CK2 is the fact that characters have ambitions. And as I said, I want to try and roleplay. So I'm going to try whenever a certain ruler is in place, I will try and fulfill that person's ambition. So if he wants to be appointed dictator, that is something that we will do at some point, and or we'll try to do it anyways. And if he wants to conquer a certain province, there's all kinds of different ambitions. I'm going to try and do that as well. Eventually, we'll also find a spouse and children, but something I've noticed here is that you can't really influence that a whole lot. You can't name your children. You can't really marry anyone. So that is very limited. Same with friends and rivals. You can actually befriend people and maybe even rival them. Yeah, as you can see here. But yeah, that's sort of the only thing that can really impact. This I haven't been able to impact, or maybe I just didn't find it. But yeah, that's very different. Then we also got prominence and loyalty, popularity, and all that stuff. We'll talk about this when it actually matters. And one other thing is that you have a state wealth, a treasury, and then you have your personal wealth as well. But again, this is something I'll talk about more when it actually matters. Also, each ruler is part of a faction. That is because we're playing a republic. We have a senate. And there's 5 factions. We've got the civic faction, we've got the military faction, the mercantile faction, the religious faction, and the populists. So basically, the civic is like the patrician sort of people. Maybe not. It's like it's like just a regular citizens, I guess. Then, military is pretty straightforward. Mercantile, kind of pretty straightforward as well. Traders, rich people. Religious also kind of makes sense. And the populace is basically, that's how I see it, is for like the plebeians, right? It's like the more lower class people, but not necessarily the slaves. Okay, so then we've got various government people here. There's our next heir, so to speak, the next consul who's going to be elected. He is of the military faction, which is fine, and he seems decent. We have no problem with him, so I think we'll not interfere there. He's currently censor. Okay, we'll get to this once once it actually matters, I think. Otherwise, this might be a bit much. I do want to mention here that I was hoping to include some custom characters here for my Patreons, and I haven't really found a good way of doing this just yet. So I'm working on that, but yeah, I'm not quite there yet. All right, so I'm gonna close that for now. and we'll be checking out something else. So yeah, as I said, most of this resembles EU4, yeah, the best. But one thing I want to show you that resembles something different, and that is technology. Technology was actually taken from Stellaris, in my opinion, because you have 3 or 4 areas that you can research. In Stellaris, it's 3, and you can assign head researchers to it that increase the speed at which you make advances in that field. And then you can choose inventions that will help you. And if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, these are random somewhat. I mean, some of them always kind of happen, but they're kind of random, so it's sort of like Stellaris in that regard, which is really cool. And of course, the one thing that has been borrowed from Victoria is the whole pop system. So we've got, let's actually check out Rome itself. We've got 25 citizens here. 21 of them are Hellenic Roman and 4 are Jewish Hebrew. And then we've got freemen, we've got tribesmen, and even slaves. We also got resources that are being produced. So trade has been overhauled, yeah, by a lot. We currently have some surplus here. Now this is important because surplus gives us bonuses, and just generally speaking, you want to have all surplus of all resource in your capital because that gives you the most bonuses. It gives bonuses to your capital region, but then also because it's your capital region, it gives bonuses to your country as a whole. So that's something we'll be working on. But for now, we only have one trade route that we can use, and that's already been used up for grain. So let me quickly check out our trade here. So we can see we're exporting cloth to Seculia, and we're making some money off of that, interestingly as well. It's kind of weird, but we're actually making money from importing grain as well. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So this is something we are exporting, but we also have wine. In the capital, we've got iron that is increasing the discipline of our heavy infantry. This is really crucial because this is our backbone, the heavy infantry Roman legion. And then grain giving us extra manpower is very good as well. We're allowing any trade offers, even those that would make us lose capital bonus. No, I don't want that. So yeah, let's block it. And yeah, now we need commanders for our armies. The first legion, let's appoint a new commander, and I think Marcus Fulvius Corvus might be the best. He has a martial ability of 8. His loyalty is 60. Popularity is not very high. This man's loyalty is higher. Publius Cornelius Arvina. I think I'm gonna pick him instead. He's a scorned family, but he's in the same faction, so I think I'll pick him instead to lead the first legion, and that's the only legion we have so far. Diplomatically, we are in an interesting position. We're actually currently looking at the terrain map now. Let's check the political one instead. Well, this is our territory here, and we do have a sort of exclave of lands up here as well. And the introductory text told us about the war against the Samnites to the south, and we will need to go to war with them again to connect our territories, and we will. But we have some vassal states as well, as you can see here. We've got, well, we can't even see it. Marcia, Pelinia, and Frentania, and then we also got Nuceria around the city of Pompeii. All of them are paying tribute to us, and there's probably a way to see that as well. Let's check out our diplomacy here. We have feudatories. Now, feudatories is a special special vassal contract or whatever status. They can be integrated at some point, and that's something that we'll obviously do as well. Now, we also have the bellicose stance right now, which means that fabricating claims costs less. Also, war score cost is lowered, so we can take more stuff in war. But our neighbors don't like us as much, and we will probably change this stance at some point. But for now, we're going to have to conquer a lot of territory. So, we still need we need an admiral as well. We've got a very small fleet, but that's okay. I'm gonna be appointing. We could appoint ourselves, actually. Huh. I mean, that's interesting. Let's actually check out our guy right now. We are a jealous man. We are victorious. We have become a byword for glory. And we are wise as well. Okay. Never quite happy with his lot in life. Publius takes more than a little pleasure in coveting the possessions of others. Okay. Interesting. Do we want to control the fleet? Nah, it seems a bit boring, actually. Let's instead... am I going to give this to Fulvius? Sure. We'll make Marcus Fulvius Corvus our admiral. That's fine. And then there's some families that are scorned. That's because they don't have any positions right now. That's something we'll be fixing in the future. We can also call an omen. And I think since we are likely going to go to war, the aggressive expansion is something that we want to go for. Or something else? What's our tax? Tax wouldn't be bad either. National population growth. How about we'll go for... How long does it last? It will last for 1,800 days. I'll wait. I'll wait for now. What we definitely want to do is we want to build... No. I want the extra tax for now, so that we're making some extra cash, and we'll be building some new troops. So let's actually quickly check what our troops are. We've got 5,000 archers, 5,000 heavy infantry, and 5,000 cavalry, light cavalry. Okay, we'll be building a little bit more. Let's get 5 more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy infantry. Then we'll get some auxiliary cavalry. That's light cavalry. We'll take 1, 2, 3, and then we'll take a couple more archers as well. Good. That's fine for now, I think. Okay. And inventions, there's some we can afford. We can only afford 2. Professional sailors, learning the job, starting experience, military tech investments, commerce income, national tax. 5% seems pretty good. We're making a lot from taxes right now. I think that's something we'll go for. Aggressive protection, claim cost, diplomatic reputation, omen power, army morale recovery, technology speed. I think we're going to go with technology speed. And we'll be also going with the extra national tax here. Good. That's all our civic power spent for now. We get some base, and then we'll get half of our ruler's skill points. So since we have, 9, but it's actually getting rounded down to 8, so we only get 4 points here. That's fine. Okay, let's move on forward. And I'm waiting for a event that is supposed to start in the beginning here. One that gives Rome claims to its neighbors. Now we have an alliance offer from Apulia. Interesting. That is actually quite interesting indeed. Let's check them out. They are currently allied to Messapia and Tarentum. I don't think we want to ally anyone in Italy, to be honest, because all of Italy is ours. So I'm actually going to decline that. Something that I might agree to is improve relations with these guys. They dislike us quite a bit, but we might be able to offer client status. Their opinion must be at least 100. Okay, should be possible. So let's improve relations. That will go plus 50. That doesn't actually help us enough yet. We might be able to send a gift. We can offer a guarantee. We'll have to see. But I think it's worth it to improve relations with them here. And we'll see how that goes. Because maybe we don't need to go to war with everyone. If we can do it diplomatically, I would love to. Alright, so I know we haven't really done much yet, but it's a new game. So before we head into war, I'm gonna have to end it here, and we'll be back next time to declare our first war, hopefully. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.